Let's look ahead to next week. Speaking of fraud, so Christy, Craig Wright is taking the stand on Monday, correct? We initially reported it would happen on Thursday, but it's actually been moved. What do we know so far about this trial? Craig Wright, who claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin, versus the David Kleiman estate over 100 million Bitcoins said to be in Craig's possession.
Yeah, it's a lot of Bitcoin. So the estate, what we've been reporting this past week is the trial that is happening right now in Miami. The estate of the late Dave Kleiman, represented by his surviving brother, Ira, is suing Wright for what Ira alleges to be his brother Dave's share of proceeds derived from business arrangements between Craig and Dave. And that includes intellectual property and some Bitcoin that Ira says they mined together, plus the proceeds of other business ventures that they may or may not have been involved in. We're still trying to parse that out. That's what the courts are trying to figure out. So far, it's mostly been testimony from the plaintiff side of things, from Ira's lawyers. They've mostly been trying to paint a picture of Craig Wright as being a unsavory character who has forged documents and doesn't live up to his obligations and doesn't pay people and just generally being a not so great guy. And what we are all waiting for is for Craig Wright himself to take the stand, which was supposed to happen yesterday, but Ira's testimony ended up running long, so we didn't actually hear from him. We'll be hearing from Craig Wright's ex-wife, I believe, is slated to happen this afternoon. We'll see what happens if we get that testimony, but on Monday, we should be able to hear straight from Craig Wright. Now, he can be a very colorful character on the stand. He has been known to lose his temper occasionally. We'll see what happens on Monday. We have our wonderful reporter, Cheyenne Ligon, who's down there in Miami watching the whole thing, reporting for CoinDesk. So make sure to check in and see what she reports on that next week.
It's a riveting case and really interesting. I just based on Cheyenne's reporting, I saw that Gavin Andreessen had come to submit some testimony saying he felt that he was bamboozled by Craig Wright in trying to convince him that he was Satoshi Nakamoto. A lot of folks on the plaintiff side discrediting a lot of the claims that Craig Wright has made throughout his life and business dealings. And so very fascinating to see what Craig has to say in his defense. Dominic, taking a look at the markets, what do you see in store for next week? We also have some Coinbase earnings that are out. Square had some earnings out this week, and they turned out very well in terms of their Bitcoin profits for the company. Do we see something similar happening for Coinbase?
Yeah, all eyes are on Coinbase. I think they missed earnings last quarter. So this quarter, there's a lot of expectation for trading volumes to perhaps pick up. We saw the rally in Bitcoin over the past month, so that should be beneficial. And it was just not Bitcoin, right? Ethereum, and we talked about the other altcoins, that should benefit trading volumes. And Coinbase puts out a newsletter to their institutional clients that we read every week. So we're watching those volumes week by week, and we've been seeing a lot of the altcoins pick up. So there is definitely trading activity, and that should benefit their bottom line. Reading from Square's report, the Cash App showing that there was a lot of Bitcoin transactions. That's also forward-looking, and we'll probably take that as a cue for Coinbase to sort of benefit from that as well. And then overall in the crypto markets, we're looking for some sign of life, some sign of volume picking up. And if it does, then analysts are expecting a break above that resistance level at 64K. And historically, Bitcoin does tend to lag the altcoins on a bullish trajectory. So if that were to happen, the bias is definitely towards the upside with a pickup in volume. We're expecting to see that. If a pullback does occur, there is a lot of support on the chart around 58K, 54K. And that should benefit the Q4 rally.